Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Jefferson nickels. This particular set includes proofs, business strikes, and the satin finish coins. This is actually, in my opinion, one of the most collectible sets. Specifically because there's no real stoppers, there's no real key dates. The most expensive coin is under $100. The coins are fairly nice size. They're not small like the dime or the cent. And all of them can still be found in uncirculated condition. You just have to hunt around, go to shows and stuff. I actually didn't want to do a set of these at first. I actually didn't like the Jefferson nickel. I didn't like how it looked. And the dealer that I frequent, he said that I should try one. And this was specifically when the nickel was going to be redesigned. So I found out that by looking at the red book that their prices weren't too bad, and it was actually worth trying to put together a set and see how much I liked it. And once I started putting it together, I actually liked how it started to look. It's quite surprising when you put all of the Jeffersons together in one album that they actually look like a very good set, especially if you take your time and put together really nice coins. The coins that you're looking at right now are the 35% silver nickels. These were issued during the war, and there's actually no nickel in these nickels whatsoever. And we are back to the nickel, 25% nickel and 75% copper nickels. After the Buffalo nickel had run its 27 years, the U.S. government was in the process of replacing it, and they had an idea that they wanted to put Jefferson on it, and this was to commemorate him. A competition was ordered, and Felix Schlag, the designer for the nickel, had won the competition. He also had won $1,000. The requirements of the competition were that he had to use a genuine portrait of Jefferson, and he had to depict Jefferson's home, Monticello, on the reverse. His original conception of Monticello was very different than what was later adapted as the reverse. I actually liked his original inception better, and there are books where you can actually see the original design by Schlag. It was more of an angled view, and there was a tree there, and the government pretty much butchered his design in favor of a frontal view. The Monticello home is near Charlotte, Virginia, and some people mistook the Monticello home for the White House. So a lot of people hoarded the nickels when they first came out because they thought that they were going to be recalled by the government, because they thought that there wasn't a flag on top of the White House. But in fact it wasn't the White House at all, and the nickel was never recalled. The 42 to 45 war nickels, as most like to call them, they were 35% silver, and the silver was used instead of the nickel because the nickel was needed for the war effort. This was also the first time that the P mint mark was used on a coin to designate that it was from the Philadelphia Mint. And the mint marks from the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints are located above the dome on the reverse. I'll show you that in a little bit later. And this is the easiest way that you can tell the 35% nickels as opposed to the 25% copper, or the 25% nickel and 75% copper designs. This is a very nice set because there's a lot of coins. Most of them are fairly inexpensive. And you can put together a very nice large book for not very much money. I mean, it will cost you a decent chunk of change, but most collectors of average means should be able to put together a very nice set of Jeffersons. The design for both the obverse and the reverse has been modified numerous times. Ever since the inception of the Jefferson nickel, they've had serious striking problems because the nickel is so hard. The steps have been changed numerous times on the reverse, and that's why Jeffersons with full steps go for large amounts of money, because people know that those are usually the most strongly struck examples of Jefferson nickels. The portrait of Jefferson, as you can see here, has been changed or modified. It's just slightly. It's not largely different, but it's quite different from Schlag's original inception. Jefferson was the third president of the United States. He drafted the Declaration of Independence. He also signed it. Jefferson was a philosopher, an educator, a scientist, an architect, an inventor,